Hey comrades, so first, before I get into any of this, I want to say yes, I am very aware of the vent that is humming in the background. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't have the ability to turn it off, and I don't have the ability to edit that out, so I'm going to have to roll with it, I guess. So, today I want to talk about gun control and the March for Our Lives. So I've been getting some flack on Twitter from other leftists, mostly people who are much further to the left than I, for supporting the March for Our Lives and attending the satellite march that took place here in Kansas City. Here you can see a picture of a comrade and I holding our banner for the William Jewell Young Democratic Socialists. So, these people accuse me of being anti-revolutionary or being a liberal for supporting gun control. They think that gun control is contradictory to a socialist stance. So today, I just want to talk about what my actual views on gun control are and just get into what I think needs to be done on this. But before I go any further, I'm going to advise you to go watch two videos that I've linked to in the comments below, or in the description below. One is from crack.com before they fired all their good writers, which is explaining why the NRA is terrible, and I think it touches on a lot of the good things about, touches on a lot of good issues that really need to be discussed and provides good context behind the whole debate about guns in America. And then another video from the Cynical historian, which explains the history of gun control laws in the United States. So, to start off with, I don't want to take everyone's guns away. I think that's a terrible idea. What I do want to do is I think that we should at least ban people convicted of domestic abuse from owning guns, because this is actually a major indicator of who people who will be convicted of gun crimes later on will be people who are convicted of domestic abuse. That's the only major indicator that we've been able to identify at all. I also think that we should be focusing on regulating the sale and purchase of firearms more than the ownership of firearms, and God, the glare on my face is terrible, sorry, through universal background checks, waiting periods, mandatory licensing, and other measures such as that. I also think that we should classify high-capacity magazines and bump stocks under Title II of the National Firearms Act, along with things like sawed-off shotguns, silencers, automatic weapons, and explosives, because those are unnecessary and should be classified as, Title II weapons. And I think that we should increase the restrictions on assault weapons, like the AK-47 type assault rifles and the AR-15, by increasing the purchase age from 18 to 21. That's a completely reasonable restriction in my opinion. So, and then also I would make it so local communities can pass their own gun laws. Right now in many states, including my home state, that's against the law, which is utterly ridiculous. Different areas will need different gun laws. New York City will need much different gun laws than western Kansas, and much different gun laws than northern Alaska. So, we need to allow local communities to restrict guns as they see fit. But I also think that we need to take into account the role that more systemic factors play in the gun violence that we see in our society. Things like militarism, imperialism, toxic masculinity, and white supremacy all play a very obvious and very serious role in the problem, and so we need to finally start taking account of those problems and start addressing them as a whole. If we live in a highly militarized society, and that definitely plays into the cycle of violence that we see in it as a result. So we need to focus on demilitarizing our society. That being said, we probably need to start disarming the police. And by disarming, I don't mean take away all means of defending themselves. I mean take away the firearms from the vast majority of police officers. Police officers in Shawnee, Kansas, the town I'm from, do not need guns. It's very simple. They don't need guns. And most police officers in New York City don't need guns either. Maybe a handful do. A handful that would respond to very serious armed situations would, but the rest do not. I would advise people to go check out what they do in Ireland to see how we should separate out the armed police from the disarmed police as a good model. It's better than actually the UK's model, which I know a lot of Americans point to. So that's something that I think we really need to do. And that would also help cut down on acts of police brutality against black and brown communities in the United States, which is a very serious issue. So, the biggest complaint that I've been getting from people about my views on gun control is that it's anti-revolutionary, that we need guns to arm the working class, to arm the proletariat, a term I never use, by the way, because I do not consider myself a Marxist, because we need them for the revolution. Now, if you think that we're going to have an armed revolution in this country, you're delusional. There is no chance of that happening in modern America. Zero chance of that happening. While I do think that there will be some kind of revolution at some point in the United States, it's not going to be a civil war or an armed insurrection. That's just a fantasy. A second civil war is something relegated to fiction, and bad fiction at that. The conditions for a civil war simply do not exist in the United States or any Western liberal democracy for that matter. They simply do not lend themselves to a civil war because, well, I do think there are, we do have systemic instability. The institutional instability that is needed for civil wars does not exist. So if you think that we're going to need guns for a revolution, then you're living in fantasy land. And let's just suspend reality for a second and say that we would need guns for a revolution. You still wouldn't win. Let's face it, even with the guns that you could buy without these restrictions that I'm advocating, you would not be able to win that revolution because the government has these things called predator drones. You're not going to win a revolution with guns in this country in this day and age. It's not going to happen. So good luck with your fantasy revolution that's never going to happen. Just come back to reality. We have real struggles that we need to deal with right now, and your fantasy revolution is, just going to distract from those issues that we need to actually face. I think we will have a revolution at some point, but it's not going to be an armed insurrection. So, come back to reality. The second, and also that's just completely ignores anything else that I said, because I'm not advocating taking guns away from anyone except domestic abusers and, again, police. So I'm not sure how that would help a revolution anyway. The other criticism that I've been met with on Twitter is that this will endanger the lives of minorities because gun control has traditionally been targeted at minorities. And, this is true. I'm a history student. I've studied this. Many gun control laws in the past have been targeted at people of color and the working class. Look at the Mulford Act in California back in the 60s, which was targeted at the Black Panthers. Now, this is a valid criticism, and one of the many reasons that I have some skepticism towards certain gun control policies, like a buyback or a complete assault weapons ban. And I also think that, and it's a big reason why I think that any gun control policy that should be implemented should not be implemented in a way that empowers police to search people's houses for guns or to arrest people on weapons charges. I think that is a very serious problem. We shouldn't be because we need to be focusing on disarming the police as well. And I think any gun control policy should be accompanied by demilitarization policies for the police. And I think that we need to, it's also a big reason we need to focus on overcoming the problems of white supremacy, which feed into the problems of gun violence in American society as a whole. So this is just a little introduction to my views on gun control. I hope this clarifies some things. I know I'm going to get more crap on Twitter about this, but, it's Twitter, who cares? I just thought I'd take the opportunity today to talk about what I think about gun control in the United States and what I think should be done. So, if you please leave all your thoughts and all your comments in the comment section below. I really love reading those. I really love your feedback. If you have ideas for new videos, please let me know. I'm almost to 200 subscribers, and as promised, I will do a Q&A video once I hit 200 subs. So, hit that subscribe button, share the crap out of this video so I can get there soon. I think I'm only 4 away, so 4 subscribers away from doing that. So, tell all your friends to come check out this channel and subscribe, and we'll do a Q&A video, so start writing your questions down. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Solidarity.